Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The last book of the New Testament contains visionary descriptions of heaven and of conflicts between good and evil and of the end of the world, attributed to St. John the Apostle. The speech act of making something evident. Communication of knowledge to man by a divine or supernatural agency. An enlightening or astonishing disclosure. The last book of the New Testament contains visionary descriptions of heaven and of conflicts between good and evil and of the end of the world, attributed to St. John the Apostle. A cosmic cataclysm in which God destroys the ruling powers of evil. The last book of the New Testament contains visionary descriptions of heaven and of conflicts between good and evil and of the end of the world, attributed to St. John the Apostle. The last book of the New Testament contains visionary descriptions of heaven and of conflicts between good and evil and of the end of the world, attributed to St. John the Apostle. The speech act of making something evident. Disclosing unintentionally something concealed. The speech act of making something evident. Showing or making known. A revealing glance. Communication of knowledge to man by a divine or supernatural agency. The use of language to perform some act. A speech act that conveys information. To furnish incriminating evidence to an officer of the law, usually in return for favors. A speech act that conveys information. The clear, and often sudden, understanding of a complex situation. A feeling of understanding. Clear or deep perception of a situation. Grasping the inner nature of things intuitively. The clear, and often sudden, understanding of a complex situation. Try to solve a problem by thinking intensely about it. The clear, and often sudden, understanding of a complex situation. Neurophysiology. Rapid fluctuations of voltage between parts of the cerebral cortex that are detectable with an electroencephalograph. Unauthorized, especially deliberate, disclosure of confidential information. The discharge of a fluid from some container. He had to clean up the leak. Be leaked. The news leaked out despite his secrecy. A euphemism for urination. He had to take a leak. An accidental hole that allows something, fluid or light etc., to enter or escape. One of the tires developed a leak. Enter or escape as through a hole or crack or fissure. Water leaked out of the can into the backpack. Have an opening that allows light or substances to enter or go out. The container leaked gasoline. Soft watery rot in fruits and vegetables caused by fungi. Tell anonymously. The news were leaked to the paper. Unauthorized, especially deliberate, disclosure of confidential information. To furnish incriminating evidence to an officer of the law, usually in return for favors. Smooth and flowing. Disclosing information or giving evidence about another. The act of singing vocal music. Disclosing information or giving evidence about another. Speak about unimportant matters, rapidly and incessantly. Divulge confidential information or secrets. Powerfully persuasive. A telling presentation. An act of narration. Disclosing information or giving evidence about another. Disclosing unintentionally something concealed. A telling smile. Producing a strong effect. A telling gesture. Informing by words. The act of discovering something. A productive insight. Law. Compulsory pretrial disclosure of documents relevant to a case. Enables one side in a litigation to elicit information from the other side concerning the facts in the case. Something that is discovered. To show, make visible or apparent. National leaders will have to display the highest skills of statesmanship. Something shown to the public. An electronic device that represents information in visual form. Something intended to communicate a particular impression. Made a display of strength. A visual representation of something. Attract attention by displaying some body part or posing, of animals. Behavior that makes your feelings public. A display of emotion. Exhibiting openly in public view. A display of courage. The act of disclosing something that was secret or private. The act of disclosing something that was secret or private. The state of being vulnerable or exposed. His exposure to ridicule. A representation of a person or scene in the form of a print or transparent slide or in digital format. Abandoning without shelter or protection, as by leaving an infant out in the open. Aspect resulting from the direction a building or window faces. The studio had a northern exposure. Presentation to view in an open or public manner. The exposure of his anger was shocking. The act of exposing film to light. The act of subjecting someone to an influencing experience. She denounced the exposure of children to pornography. The disclosure of something secret. They feared exposure of their campaign plans. The intensity of light falling on a photographic film or plate. He used the wrong exposure. Vulnerability to the elements, to the action of heat or cold or wind or rain. Exposure to the weather. A television or radio program in which contestants compete for awards. A gift of public land or resources for the private gain of a limited group. An unintentional disclosure. The collection of books of the Gospels, Acts of the Apostles, the Pauline and other epistles, and Revelation, composed soon after Christ's death, the second half of the Christian Bible. New Testament. The four evils that will come at the end of the world. Conquest rides a white horse. War a red horse. Famine a black horse. Plague a pale horse. Physical objects consisting of a number of pages bound together. He used a large book as a doorstop. A record in which commercial accounts are recorded. They got a subpoena to examine our books. The sacred writings of Islam revealed by God to the Prophet Muhammad during his life at Mecca and Medina. A compilation of the known facts regarding something or someone. His name is in all the record books. A written version of a play or other dramatic composition, used in preparing for a performance. The sacred writings of the Christian religions. A collection of rules or prescribed standards on the basis of which decisions are made. They run things by the book around here. Arrange for and reserve something for someone else in advance. The agent booked tickets to the show for the whole family. A collection of playing cards satisfying the rules of a card game. A major division of a long written composition. The Book of Isaiah. A number of sheets, ticket or stamps, etc., bound together on one edge. He bought a book of stamps. A written work or composition that has been published, printed on pages bound together. I am reading a good book on economics. Engage for a performance. Her agent had booked her for several concerts in Tokyo. Record a charge in a police register. The policeman booked her when she tried to solicit a man. Register in a hotel booker.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.